second oldest now. I never got it straight. For about a decade, we were the two surviving children of Louis and Bessie, and I always thought Elsie would win the longevity award, but 95? 97. That was pretty good. We were like in some ways. I couldn't clop rolls and roll dough in the bakery like Jake, Nate, and Judge, also known as Julius. So my contribution to the family business was to fry donuts. Okay. Was to fry donuts. I got it.
Yeah, blacktop is better.
Fry donuts, count rolls, and slice bread. When I turned 17, I drove the bakery truck. Elsie was considered somewhat frail, but she was occasionally drafted to work Sunday mornings in the store when the churches emptied out, and it was all hands on deck. We both went to work for other people, me in a drugstore later, like all the good Jewish boys in Somerville, in the shoe store. Elsie had clerical skill and worked in a lawyer's office for many years. She was my teacher. She taught me how to tie my shoes. She taught me to always walk on the curbside to protect women from being splashed by cars. She tried to teach me to dance. She also introduced me to food that I never saw at my mother's table. We lived in a railroad-type apartment over the bakery. Elsie, in the early years of her marriage, lived on the 3rd floor. One day I was climbing steps outside our apartment and caught a new smell. I think you all know what it was.
Bacon.
All right. I enjoyed my first taste of bacon. My mother Bessie was also not afraid to experiment. One day we visited her far more sophisticated sister, Aunt Anna, in Brooklyn. And there was a big bowl of shrimp. Mom attacked it. Louis came to her and my father said, "Bessie, shrimp or trafe, you shouldn't eat shrimp." Mom had an answer. "It's all right, Louis, I'm not home." Mom did keep a kosher house. We usually ate on the run in the kitchen between the store and the bakery. Come the holiday, we moved upstairs to a formal kitchen open only at Passover. I think we've covered this ground, but Elsie, being a parent, the mother turned out to be her major role. She raised Sanford, also known as Butch, Dianne, whom we knew for many years as Cookie, and in keeping with the bakery theme, Janice, also known as Pie Pie. She was also a substitute parent for Charles, Lana, Hillary, Regina's children, Nathan's daughter Barbara, Irene's 3 guys, Eli, David, and Francine. Feeding some of them at school lunch hour and almost all afternoons, it was her job, and she loved doing it. Meatballs and spaghetti and Parmesan cheese? Potato salad? Okay. Elsie set a good table. For many years, we traveled abroad occasionally and brought elephants home for a connection. But we wouldn't have been able to go away on some occasions if Elsie hadn't taken care of our guys. In her later years, Raleigh and I visited frequently, often at her apartment in the senior residence in Somerville. She had many friends and was up on all the spicy gossip about all the people she lived with. Cookie was always on hand when we visited, and later we visited Elsie when she went west to Las Vegas to live with Sanford and his wife Louise. She and Louise became gambling buddies, playing the penny ante games and pressing on the free food. When any of the young clan needed to check a fact about old Somerville and old relatives, they consulted Elsie in Brooklyn, where she spent so many good years with Janice and Joseph. Even in her 90s, she had a good memory and a sharp sense of humor. Her eyes twinkled, particularly when the house was full of her great-grandchildren. In her later years, when all those synapses weren't properly clicking away, Elsie's conversations sometimes turned surreal as she mixed reality, locations, and history, and the decades. Still, there was always a smile and a laugh, almost a giggle, and I never heard a complaint despite the indignities of old age. If she was the frail member of our family, I should be so frail. I'll find my balance.
Yeah.
Gee.